Hello everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am Teresa with Keep in Touch Crafts and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Oak Grove, Minnesota. Welcome and thank you for joining me. I don't know if you've started thinking about Valentine's Day yet or not, but what do we have? Probably a little over a month, I guess, until that comes for us. You may be viewing this later, and regardless, thank you and welcome to all of you. We're going to be getting some ideas started. You have plenty of time, but you might want to think of it ahead of time and just take your time with it and kind of enjoy it more that way, right? So I'll show you a few ideas for using some of our products that are in our new catalog, our January to June 2022 new mini catalog that came out. We have some paper that's really pretty for Valentine's Day. And we also have a bundle that is gorgeous that you can use for Valentine's Day, but also a lot of other things like weddings, anniversaries, that kind of thing. And I'll show you more in a moment. Thank you for joining me. I am going to put the camera down and we will get started, okay? Let's see here. There we go. Nothing much to show you yet. However, I'm going to bring in our new mini catalog and let's show you what I'm talking about. This catalog is the one that came about on January 4th of 2022, and it goes until the end of June. And on page 11 here, we are seeing a bundle that I'm going to be talking about tonight. And this bundle it's a hybrid, so I'm going to show you what that means. There is a stamp set with it, and there is also an embossing folder and dies. Usually it's one or the other, but they go together, which makes some really pretty projects, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about very soon. So this is part of a very large suite of products. I shouldn't say very large, but it's a beautiful suite of products called Sweet Talk. I don't have all of it, but I do have quite a bit of it, and it's just got so much so many details and so many things that you can use on it. Here is some paper that I do have the DSP that I'm going to be using, and I also have some ribbon that I'm going to use today. I'm going to show you some ideas with the sweet little boxes that you can get, and that's what they're called, sweet little boxes. And they are there are 10 of them in a pack, and they're 3.5 by 2.5, and then they are 5/8 of an inch deep. They're very similar to the little candy boxes that a lot of us have grown up seeing and getting as gifts and that kind of thing at Valentine's Day. And then this is what I don't have of it. There is also something called Sweet Conversations Bundle, which is this stamp set along with a big die set. And so there's so much. I just wish I had it all, but unfortunately I don't yet. So I'm going to show you this part of it, and I will show you what comes with this hybrid folder and dies and a stamp set. And this is kind of got that more of like an elegant look to it. So that's what makes it really nice for wedding, anniversary, that kind of thing. But it also does have Valentine Greetings here. Happy Valentine's Day, friend is another stamp that's included in it. And so that's part of what you can use for Valentine's Day. And also the paper has some good choices as well. Just a reminder, if you place an order this month or actually the next 2 months for $50 or more, then you can choose free items in our Celebration catalog. And everybody who does that in the next 2 months, if you order from me, then I am going to be putting your name in a drawing for the Amazing Silhouettes stamp set, which is what I used last week for all of my projects. Beautiful, very versatile stamp set here that I'm going to be giving this one away, unopened, brand new, to a lucky customer of mine who has placed an order during Celebration and gotten that freebie, at least a $50 order. Then also, you're going to be able to get some exclusive PDF content that is part of a virtual tour through the catalog group that I've been involved in, and we have a bunch of videos taking you through a lot of the new product in that new mini catalog, and I'll be able to offer that PDF to go along with all of those videos so that you would have the ability to recreate the products, one from each video, which will be shown in all of those videos. You'll be seeing me put those out on my Facebook and other locations here very soon, and maybe you've seen them already too, but I am included in that. I have a video in there, and so you can watch for that, and you'll be able to get your hands on that PDF, watch all the videos, and also get your name in here in for this stamp set that I'm going to be giving it away. I want you to use this if you could. If you place an order, use the host code, this host code in January. I'm going to be giving a new one out in February. Either one works. And then that will alert me so that when I get your order, then you will be part of those promotions that I just spoke to you about. Okay? All right, let's get to work here. I'm going to take this down. If you need this later, you can. I will be having this on my Facebook page and other areas, my newsletter, that kind of thing, my blog. Okay. Where do we begin? I am going to show you the products that come in this. And I have a big pile of stuff that I'm going to bring over here. Okay. So we have a hybrid. What is that? Well, it's uses two products that are put together in a different way, and it makes something beautiful that you're going to be amazed about here. What it is, we do have, part of it is an embossing folder. This embossing folder is, it has a floral background, and there's a heart right here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. I think you can see it pretty well. There's a lot you can do just with embossing folders. Whoa, like throw them around, apparently. And I've shown you some techniques before, and you will be seeing more. You can ink on the inside and run this through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it puts ink colors on there. And then we also have a die set called Bouquet of Love, and that is some dies. Let me show you a better image here of that. I have those put on a little piece of paper, and this is the dies. This is what they cut out. So it comes with a couple of little banners for sentiments. There's a large and a small square, or heart. Oh my goodness. The smaller heart has some stitching on it for detail. I don't know if you can see that. And then it comes with two larger flowers and two smaller flowers, and then like a leaf stem combo that has some stitching on it. And so there's a lot you can do with that. But these two come together, and there's a unique purpose for that. Now, if you run the embossing folder through with the paper with just the embossing folder, it comes out looking like this. If I can get that on camera right here for you. And I don't know, the detail's hard to see, but that in itself just could make a beautiful card front right there. But what this does is we can put the die in at the same time as we put the embossing folder through, and then as we crank it through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it's going to cut out that heart as well, and I'll show you how that works. So what I'm going to do is I need this embossing folder. I need this larger heart, and I don't even have my magnetic mat for this yet. So those are the two things that we're going to need along with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to need some paper, whatever color you would want to have as a card front. And we will open this up. And let's find some paper that we would like to use. Let's pull in something, maybe I'll go pastel kind of, because I've been doing a lot of bright things. So maybe I will do like a lighter, even I could go, sorry I don't have this already prepped, but I just wasn't sure what we would want to do tonight. I'm going to show you something though. Here is the paper that comes in the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper pack, and all of these different colors match the paper. So I could make a card base with white, of course, but you could use any of these colors to coordinate. And as you know, with Stampin' Up, we have a lot of color coordination on our products. I think that one color I really haven't used a lot of with my samples and that kind of thing is anything in purpley. I normally use the pink and the red, just like we usually do. So I am going to grab Highland Heather, or I could even do Fresh Freesia, really. I'm going to do Highland Heather. So I'm going to grab a piece of that, or maybe Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to cut it. We're going to make a card front with this. So I'm going to grab my trimmer. And we are going to cut this piece down. You can get 4 card fronts, or what we can do is we will go with the, which way do we want to go with this one? Let's cut it right here down the middle at 5.5. And we'll give that a cut real quick here. So this is going to be our card base, and I'm going to score it down the middle. We're just going to do a standard cut on this one, and so the middle is at 4.25. And this time I'm going to use my scoring blade, not my cutting blade. So then that gives us a nice perforation, or a nice bend in the fibers of the card to make a nice fold. But I also am going to layer the same color on the front. You could do a different color, you could do white, whatever you prefer. I am going to just make it a little bit smaller. So instead of being 4.25, I'm just going to go about 1/8 of an inch shy of that. So that is 4 1/8 by, instead of 5.5, we're going to go 5 3/8. You can, vary this however you want, but this will be the same color layer onto the front of our card. But before we do that, we're going to make it all pretty, okay? And I'll show you what I mean by that. We are going to use our hybrid embossing folder on just the single layer. And what I'm going to do, let's move this out of the way so I can kind of show you how this works. We are going to be putting this is the front, just so you know. If the Stampin' Up logo was on it, then you know that this is the front of your paper, or whatever the front is going to be. So we typically, you don't have to do it that way, but that's kind of how it's designed. And so what I'm going to want to do is have this in the center, and then, whoops, oh my goodness, flinging this around. This is going to be closing down, and there's a groove right in there for this die. But I'm going to put the die in on the open part right there, and then I'm going to put this in place. I can scoot it around after I've closed it a little bit if I want. Like I can see, I'd rather have it scooted over to the left a little bit because it's a little bit off center. So I'm going to open it up. I'll move it off to the left a little bit, and then kind of see, we're looking at the back, but you just want to see, is this where I want that heart to be cut out of? And I do like that placement, so you can see if I flip it over, is it where you want it? And we're going to run it through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine just like this. So the die is there and the embossing folder to do that all at once. So I'm going to grab it. I'm going to set this aside for now, and I'll show you what we need. So we'll need our basic number 1, and we're going to need just the number 4 to go with it. And this is the number 4 plate. I think that is all that you need, because this is a thicker, more like the 3D type of an embossing folder, so it's thicker. That's all you need are these 2. So it makes it simple. So I'm going to put that right here, put number 4 on it. I'm going to grab my machine so you can kind of see how that works. I have it already opened up. And there we go. I hope you can see that okay. I could zoom out a little bit probably. So we'll go there. And then I'm just going to put this right through. And you just crank it through. It's not hard. It just easily cranks. And thunk makes a little bit of noise. We'll get this out of the way. And so what did it do? All right. I don't need these plates anymore. That's all done. And I'll show you. It's so cool. All right. So this has already done a lot of work for us. This I can set aside. As you can see, it cut out this center heart, which in itself would be just fine. Lots of shadows, lots of light issues going on here. Sorry, guys. So this heart gets cut right out. Now, these can be interchanged. You can have this be a card front and have a message there underneath and some other piece. You could cut out a different color and have that on the inside. You can have this popped up. You can have it in white and have it inked with your blend markers. There isn't just so many different things you can do. And I'm going to be showing you a few of those here in a little bit. So with this card, let's bring in our layer. Are you going? Bye, Sam. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sorry I didn't get to talk to you much.
You're fine. Yeah,
Okay, sorry guys. That was my boy. He was visiting, and I didn't get to talk to him much, so oh well, he's busy. All right, so we are going to adhere this. It's just going to be tone on tone for this part of it. But I might change this inside part. Okay, so we're going to start. Let's just adhere this layer. I prefer probably either you can use Seal Plus, or this, I'm going to use liquid glue. It works really well on this. I suppose this one's about empty now. I use this stuff like crazy. Sometimes if it's kind of not coming out well, I'll use this other side, which I rarely ever use, but if it's getting low, I know that I can get a little bit more out of it if I use this end. So you can try that sometime. All right, that's pretty good. That's probably more than enough. And I got to try to make it not ooze out all over the place. So then I'll just put this down in the center of this front layer. And it's so pretty. Oh, love it. All right. There you are. That's just a basic, that could be a card front right there. You could just stamp your greeting, put a little, one of the banners in there or something, and just very pretty already, right? This could be used separately on another project, or you could put it as a decoration on the inside. I mean, again, I just have ideas spewing all over the place that I want to do with these, but I run out of, time to be able to do it all, but regardless. So what we're going to do is decide what we want to put on the rest of this. You could ink it. You could put a little color on it. So let's just take this and say, okay, let's use this purple. And what would we do with a Highland Heather front to make it, I don't know, more interesting, more pretty? What would we want to do? Well, let's bring in our blending brushes. And that right here would go along just fine. And what color ink do I want to use? More of a purple. I could even use my more of a white and kind of just have that buffed on there. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and bring in just a little bit of color around the edges with a pink. And so I'm going to grab my pink blending brush. I have mine in general colors. I think I have 6 of them. Yeah, just kind of some of them my main colors. Then I don't have to always, clean them every time. And so I just kind of use the same color palettes for each one. So this one is one of my pink ones. And this is polished pink. I'm just going to use a little bit of polished pink on the front. I don't want it too bright, but I am just going to ink around a little bit on here. And it does just change the color a little, but it adds just that little bit of detail and interest and makes those flowers just kind of pop, and that detail that lift up a little bit more makes it more noticeable. And I'm just kind of going around the edges like so. And then can kind of see it just makes it a little bit more, I don't know, has more, just jump out more. You can kind of tell more when you put it here, just that it has more detail, more color to it. It just kind of offsets that a little bit. And I'm also going to use this on the inside. I'll just kind of keep that a purple and a pink palette on that. And so then on the inside, I'm going to probably just want to do white, but I'm going to do something different on the inside to make it kind of more surprising. So let's see. I'm going to grab some white cardstock and we're going to cut it down. We're going to make an inside piece and have it be just a little bit smaller than the outside. So I'm going to pull this around, get it out of the way so I don't get it all dirty. Bring in my cutter, my trimmer, my cutter. And we will cut this white down. We're going to make a center very similar to what we would normally put on the inside or this as a card base, only it'll be a little bit smaller. So typically we would go cut this at 5.5, but I want it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go, actually I'm going to go all the way back to 5.25. So we'll go 5.25 here, and then we want it to be smaller this direction as well. And so I am going to go, normally our center, here let me pull out this. Typically the center of this size, it's 8.25 or 8.5 I mean, so 4.25 is the center. But I am going to go back and cut off 1/4 inch. So it's 8.25 cutting. So now in half of 8.25 is 4 1/8. So I am going to go at 4 1/8 and score the center with my scoring blade. Okay, and so then that is going to give us, oh, I went too hard. See that? I scored too hard on this paper and it made kind of a tear in it, but that's not going to show. Whew, gosh, I must have gotten a little aggressive there. All right, so this is going to be the inside of this card. Whoops, this one. And so the inside, you can see the size that I've cut. So it's just going to kind of go like that. Have a little border around the edge there. And it looks like it's a little off, maybe. That's not too bad. Okay. So what we're going to do now is make something that's going to add a little interest to the inside. I am going to have some pop-ups go in there. And this is something you can add to cards that, you know, you can do it on your own, just however you want. There's no like set formula or anything like that. But think about what you would like on the inside. And I'm going to have some things pop out of the center. And I think I am going to do 3. That's what I've done in some of my other ones, but I'm making them kind of small. So I'm going to try to kind of make it evenly spaced. I'm going about, that's probably about 3/4 of an inch. Doesn't have to be much. And I'm just making a tab, a cut here. I'm going to repeat that on this end. Try to keep it about the same. And then about the same size here. And then I'm going to go in the center, make one in the middle. That's, oh, maybe I'll make this one a little bit deeper. And maybe a little narrower. Now, there's no right or wrong. You can design yours however you want. But this is something you can do it with any card. It's not just this one, of course. And then go ahead and kind of bend them in. You could score if you wanted to a certain point, but this kind of makes them stop at a certain point. You'll see what I mean a little bit here. Like so. And then I like to do it the other way also, just to kind of give it a nice crease. All right. Now before you, what you can do too is you can choose to put decorative paper down and then do this, but I'm just going to leave it white for now. Oh, I'm having trouble with this paper. Oh, that's what I get for, I think I grabbed something that wasn't Stampin' Up! Paper accidentally, and that's what I should have known better. Okay, that's a note to self, right? Use good paper. Oh, man. All right, so what I'm going to do is punt. And we are going to try again, okay? I'm going to be more gentle, and this is the other half of the paper. And this happens sometimes. It can be frustrating. But, again, if I would have done what I should have, then I wouldn't have had this happen. All right, so this one was, instead of 4 by 5.5, we're going to go at 5 1/4, 5 1/4 wide. Yep, that's what happens. You go live, you don't know what you're going to get. I hope that's straight. 5 1/4, and then 8, instead of 8 1/2, we're going to go 8 1/4. 8 1/4. And we are going to score that at 4 1/8. 4 1/8, and scoring blade, not cutting. And this time I didn't cut it, I don't think. Oh, gentle, gentle. And maybe since I'm using that paper and it's not as strong as I would like, let's go ahead and reinforce it with some Designer Series paper. We're going to get out our paper pack and choose what I'm going to do to make it kind of real purple themed here is use this just to kind of, this pattern is, there's just words all over on it, and just I love you and that kind of thing all over. And this will just really go well with the color, obviously, that we picked. And it'll just keep that muted tones to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this on the inside of the white. And we're going to have it show some. So I want to go even smaller than this, because this is a layer on the inside. We are going to go at approximately, let's go 8 inches by, we'll go 8 by 5 on this one. Okay, and I'll bring in my trimmer. Try a plan B here. I'm getting dizzy yet with all this. Sorry, guys. All right. We want it to be, I got to make sure I'm going the right direction too. So the 8 inches wide. By 5 inches deep. And we'll go about 5, like so. And we are going to score this at 4. Lightly, because DSP can be easily torn through. It's not as heavy as cardstock. So you just got to be a little more careful with that. And it's going to be going in this way, right in the center. You can see what's on the back of this. And it's really pretty paper in this set. That would be a pretty combo as well. Geez, that would be nice too, right? We could have done that too. That would look nice in there, either way. And this would look pretty, and I'm just going to stick with it. There's practically no wrong answer with this, right? Okay, so I am going to adhere this on to there. And I think I'll go the quicker route this time and use my seal. Just a little bit here and there. Whoops. All the way around the edges, and I could do a little bit here as well. All right, this gets adhered onto the center. I gotta make sure I'm going the right direction. And let's just kind of close it in there. I want it to be centered. There's not a huge border. So not a lot of room for error on this for me to stick it down in the wrong spot. If I was standing up, it'd be easier. That's what I should be doing. Just going up and down. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, I hope it's good. All right, not bad. I think that'll be okay. And now we'll do that pop-up feature, okay? Now we'll do those cuts in there because my last one fell apart. So we will grab our scissors, different pair this time apparently, and make those same cuts. But, you know, each one can be a little different. It doesn't really matter. No right or wrong. Just depends on what you want. And as the more you do this, the more you kind of get to know what the difference is on a bigger cut, a wider, you know, further in, that kind of thing. This center one I made more narrow and further inward into the card. And these other two on the ends were less deeper cuts. And I think I want to grab my burnishing, really press down on these, especially there's 2 layers now, so I want to make sure I get that really well forced into its position here, really scoring those well. And then I'm going to go the other direction again, get a nice crisp fold here. And we're making that center pop-up feature that we'll be able to adhere different things onto that are going to kind of be a little bit surprising when you open up the inside of the card. All right, so now we'll get those back into that neutral position. All right, now these are going to go upward. You just kind of have to coax them a little bit and get them kind of going the right direction, like so. It's not the best. They're just small. You know, you can make larger little pop-up things in your cards, but I just kind of wanted them to be small on this one because the pieces I'm putting on there are not very big. Okay, I'm getting there. How's this look? Yeah, I think that'll work. And then we're just going to be putting some little hearts on these pop-out sections there, okay? The next thing we can do then is we can adhere this to the inside of this card, like so. I think that'll be pretty, but I'm going to have to bring a little bit more color to the inside. I'm going to use my seal here and get that adhered. Seal Plus would be great. Tear and tape would be very good also because it's very strong and you want these areas here by your you want all of these areas really well adhered so that they don't pull back and that kind of thing. And let's do front and make sure I have it going the right direction. Yes, okay, so this will be one side of it. We're getting very thick here with all these layers. All right, and then this back side will get adhered. Oh, come on. Want lots of glue, or actually tear and tape's what I've used before. I probably should have used that. Any of these strong adhesives work well. Oh, I got some lovely ink on the back. All right, so now we need our pieces that we're going to put on the front, however we're going to decorate the front, however we're going to decorate the inside. Now the paper, the DSP that we have, has a lot of choices of things that will go well on this. We can cut out some of the hearts here. There are hearts here as well that would go nicely on our pop-out feature. So we can go ahead and decide what we want. I'm going to close my pink because I will probably get something all full of lovely ink if I just keep that open. That's not good. Next, what do you think? We can find some things on here. You have different choices. I think this smaller size heart that comes in here is going to work if you want to cut out some of these hearts. They aren't the same exact size, but I think they would work. And then if there's something showing on the edge, you can use a blend or trim it or whatever. So that's one option. Or you can just fussy cut them out, which just means, you know, cutting them out with your scissors, of course, with your little pinky, what are these called? These are little scissors, but there's a term I'm looking for. Anyways, I don't want to just do these purpley ones because that'll be a bit much, but I will do a little variety, and it just depends on what you want it to say in there. This is one I'll be cutting out. I'll just be getting a variety and putting them on the inside of that card for some interest, I guess. Let's see, whichever ones I want to cut out. Paper snips, thank you very much. That's the word I was looking for, paper snips. Yes, get your paper snips and snip. This yellow would be nice, and I do want some of the pink. And just, you know, play. Another option you could use is punches. We do have 2 heart punches that would be very nice also. We have, this one is got kind of a scalloped border, and so that's a little bit bigger, and then this one's a little smaller so that they can mat onto one another, which is super nice. And so that would work well also. That's probably not so much for this. You could probably use it for that. Let's see here. I'm going to get some more of the paper for us to get some designs from. And I think I want to use maybe more of the pink. Ooh, there's really brightly colored. There's just kind of a red and pink. There's not a whole lot of the purpley color though. Oh, here's some. That's kind of cute. I haven't even used, oh, that's pretty. That would work. That's got a little bit of everything in it. So let's go ahead and punch out a couple of these. And ooh, we could use either side. And let's do some of the, maybe more of a either white or whatever. This will be the matte for these. And so I'm going to go ahead and find that white that I messed up on, you know, before. Or I could do pink also. That would work. Any of those will be really pretty to matte some of those hearts. That works. And well, what else do we want? I could do red, but that might be a bit bright. I don't have a lot of red in there right now, so let's get white. Here's a little white layer. And I missed, and I didn't get the tips, so I'm going to redo that one. I'm having a night. I don't know, I feel, sorry guys, I'm very disorganized tonight, and I don't even know why. It's just like one of those nights. But we're going to get there. Here are our matte layers. And we have some hearts there that we can use. So I am going to go ahead and adhere this on there to one of them. This is just going to be decoration. Pretty pretty. I really like that. And this one is really pretty as well. And this is going to go on to the white. That just kind of adds more of the pastel colors into it, back into it. Like so. Yeah, I think that'll work. either side of these. They all kind of coordinate together, which is the nice part about a DSP, a designer series paper pack. They all coordinate, and they all tell you which ones go together. Like with Stampin' Up! Our colors, like our purples, I can do any other paper pack that has some of the purples, and they're going to go together because this is one of our Highland Heather is one of our purples right now, and so things match, and that really adds a lot when you're doing this. Okay, so we're going to find my little inked up. Ooh, this would be pretty too. Does that match? Yeah, so the nice thing is you can go ahead and use that hybrid embossing folder and die and on all kinds of different things and mix and match. And I'm going to use, I could use this one in the center there, pop it up, and that would be quite a stark difference. But I think that wouldn't go as well on the inside here with what I'm doing. I'd have to carry that over into some other things. But I just wanted you to see that as an example of things that you can do. And so I'm going to go back with this, and I am going to put some dimensionals on there. Okay, here we go. Kind of getting those. I'm using an edge because I want to kind of use up this edge piece here. Waste not, want not, you know. Ooh. Oh gosh. Luckily, this back side doesn't show. Ugh. No one will ever know how it looks on the back. And so I'm going to put that in the same spot and just kind of have it lifted up a little bit to really kind of pop up. Okay, see how that's looking so far. We also are going to have a sentiment there, and then on the inside we're going to get some to pop up in here also. We can put some of these around. Lots of options. And for this pop-up portion, these are really big, so I can only I'm only going to do one of these popped up. I'm going to do that one here in the center, and I'm going to kind of have them sideways a little bit, that kind of thing. And so this first one, it's just going to go right here, right on this little ledge. Okay, I'm going to adhere it right there. It doesn't seem like much, but it is enough to get that to kind of actually tear and tape. It'll be enough to get it to stick because this is super strong adhesive. I'm going to put this on all the different parts that I'm going to use here. This edge needs to be straighter. Oh goodness. Okay. Just have a little one. A glue dot would maybe work as well. That's maybe what I should have done since it's so small. And then we're going to need one right here. And one on this side. Okay. Doesn't look pretty now, but that won't show because we tear off that liner, and we're going to have another piece behind it, or covering it so it won't show. Okay, so there's one. I'm just having to kind of coax this out again because since we have so many layers, it's just not easy to get to this one. There we go. Okay, here we are. I have to kind of convince it to go where I want it to go. And we're going to start with this center one, which is a little bit larger. So I'm going to take the liner off here. And I'm going to kind of have it at an angle a little bit. Like that. Isn't that cute? Okay. You can also have some on the other side if you ever want to do that. You could have it, I'll show you some examples of what I mean by that. You can just have it so that it's facing the other direction on the other side of the little half there. So go ahead, I'm going to cut out here another heart. I'm just fussy cutting this one, and it's kind of got that imperfect watercolor look, so you don't have to worry about having it perfect. You can just do your best. Now if you're fussy cutting, which I'm not a fan of doing too much of it, but it is something that's helpful, like if you want to be able to use some of your pieces in your background of your DSP, your designer series paper, fussy cutting is really helpful so that you can do that. But you go ahead and move your paper and your project, not your scissors. So then that you just kind of steer it with this. And I'll show you again with my other one in a second here. And this one we'll be able to put on this part. Okay, pull it back up again. Kind of decided to go down. There we go. And I'm going to put this one kind of at more of a, kind of like so. There we go. It says you're cute. Oh gosh. And I kind of want to get this one kind of just sort of going the opposite way a little bit. Okay. We have one more to do on the inside here. And which one do we want? Maybe I'll do a little bit bigger one. I could do maybe one of these bigger pinks. Or I could just do this little hug me one. That'll work. I know I had started cutting some out a little bit ago, but who knows where they went. Okay, I'm going to cut this out so it's easier. I hope I'm on camera for this because I have no idea. Just into it, so I'm not even really noticing too much if I'm on camera. I hope I am. Alright, there we go. And we're going to adhere that to this bottom one. And so this one can maybe go, oh, maybe I'll kind of have this one more straight up and down, rather than this one sideways. This one is as well, so I'll have this one more straight. Like that. Okay, we're getting there. And then you can choose to, oh, I like that. You can go ahead and decorate this however you want on the inside for the rest of it. We don't have any sentiments really yet, so we're going to want that. We could just use the back of a white and just, you know, have that somewhere on here. But I also would like to use some of the stamps and the sentiments that come with the stamp set and the dies here. So those work nice. You know, that's what they're for as well. You can cut out more hearts if you need some anywhere. Vellum is very pretty on there also. I'm going to go ahead and bring in some of my other, the stamp set and that kind of thing. If I can find it again. Oh, I'm just getting such a mess. Oh gosh, here we go. Well, we are thinking of Valentine's Day, so I am going to use Valentine Greetings. And so there's that, or there is Happy Valentine's Day Friend. Either of those work. And let's do, I think I used Valentine Greeting on some of my others, and like that. And then the Happy Valentine's Day Friend could be on the inside maybe. We could put that on a white heart, and that'll really show off, you know, that'll jump out at you. And then I'm going to use the Valentine Greeting on white as well. So let's go ahead and stamp that. I am going to use, I think I'm going to use the Highland Heather. And can use this one and just have it sideways. No, that's not going to work. I need a bigger one. And I'm going to cut this out with our lovely, there's like a banner that comes with that set. That's not going to work. I had a feeling I was pressing too hard. Perfect, I think. No. Okay, Valentine Greetings, finally I got that one. And then we can go ahead and stamp our Happy Valentine's Day friend, which is going to go on our heart here. And I'm going to try it on my background paper, and I have a tendency to press too hard, and then you get that edge on it. So I don't want to do that. Just want a nice light press. Okay. Now we can adhere this on the inside to wherever we would like it to be. I think I kind of like it here. But then it's kind of odd to have it on the left-hand side for putting your message, but I feel like I'm going to just put it on the left. I like it there better. And we can go ahead and put that in there wherever we want. Okay. And then on the front, I want to have that other one that we stamped here. And I'm going to cut that out with our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to get that banner one that I showed you earlier. I'm going to use this larger one. Put these in there so I don't lose them. Now this one, if you have the smaller Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, the mini, then this will work in there, which is a nice thing about this. But however, the actual folder would not. So the folder's too big for the mini. But if you have that, you can use that for these smaller things here. All right, we are going to cut that out. And we're going to put that on the front, which will be really pretty. A simple front and a little bit more of a less simple inside. So it'll be a lot more surprising, I guess, on the inside, right? Okay. Oops, where's my base? Okay, so for this we use the 1, the 2, and then 2 of our 3 plates, just like we normally do. Here's the one we want. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. No, you can't. Can you see it yet? This is the one we're aiming at. And I'm going to get a little piece of, maybe I'll use some of my lovely little Post-it, sticky notes. And I want it to be straightish. I have kind of a warped plate here, I think, so that's making it a little harder for that to grab. And I'm going to run this through, except I put it on the wrong way. What do we got? Okay. There we are. So let's set all this aside and assemble. Gosh, a mess, don't we? There's that. And there's our project. very simple on the front here. I kind of like it. I might go lower. It needs more though, wouldn't you say? I feel like it does. Maybe we could use some twine or baker's twine, that kind of thing on there. I'm going to use the dimensionals on these. I think I'll use 3. And we'll go 1, 2, 3. Okay, pretty. And we'll put this on just under here, right underneath. I want it to be straight and centered. All right, now we can get it all blinged up here, decorate. What I really like with this are, a couple of things. I like the opal rounds. I really would like I don't even know if we have these anymore. I think we do, yeah. These were some of our pearls that were, gosh, I don't remember what the name of it was. I had them in a thing. But what I was thinking of today was, where are they here? Yes, these are my favorite. Iridescent rhinestone basic jewels, and that's what I'm going to use today. These go with about everything, and they're just, 3 different sizes, very colorful, pretty. I just love them. They're kind of opalescent, I guess, is kind of what I think of them as. And this could use some opalescence. So we'll put a little bit on here and on the other end as well. And I'm going to put one. Oh gosh, this big one could be able to go somewhere. Where should we put it? We could put it here, yes. And then, so that's kind of that triangle. But I also want to put 2 of the little ones somewhere else, just to add a extra bling. I'm going to do that up here. Because it's such a kind of a plain front, we can get away with having a little bit more of that on there. I also am going to use my Wink of Stella. I use this on every card. And this, I'm going to just kind of brush along this heart here, and it's going to really make it jump out more. And it's going to look different when it dries than it does right now, but it does add a lot of shimmer. And it's kind of just really making those areas that are embossed kind of jump up even more. Okay, so that is so pretty, isn't it? Yes. Now, we do have room for, that we could do some twine on there. We could, like I was saying, some baker's twine would work nice. Probably white, I would say, would be the best. And we could use, we could use a lot of stuff, couldn't we? I'm seeing, I really would like, this is my favorite, of course. Instead of that, maybe we'll try some of this glittered organdy ribbon. This is gorgeous. Here's the end. And I am just going to make, decide, here's where we have a lot of space, don't we? Pretty, but a knot would be nice, or a bow. So let's just I'm going to make a bow and see if there's a good spot to put it on there. I'm just kind of doing this as we go, as you can tell. And this isn't normally what I do for my videos, but I have had people ask me, how do you come up with your ideas? And this is sort of how it goes. You play. You just kind of try different things. Some things work, some things don't. But it's just kind of a creative process that is, you get to really enjoy it as kind of a, I don't know, you just sort of see, I wonder what I can come up with for that. And I don't know, this bow is not cooperating. it's too big on this side and doesn't want to pull through. I've gotten it too tight. So I'll have to start over on that one. And I'm going to make a knot instead. How's that to change my mind? Okay, so I'm just going to go with a basic knot. And then I'm going to trim down these edges here. And then that can just go on the top. We could put it on the top here, but I kind of like it up here in this empty-ish kind of area. And these go on really well with glue dots. So we will grab one of those. Okay. Like so. There we go. What do you think? It's kind of coming together a little bit too linear, but not too bad. I think maybe something vertical would be good. Then on the inside, ooh, we have some lovely pop-up stuff. So you can kind of mess around with this. You know, make your own creation. You can come up with any variety of different combinations with this set. It's just got so many options. I'm going to show you a couple other things that I have done. Here's one that I made that was more of a red, obviously. I used some of this ribbon that's really wide and kind of a netting silvery look to it. I had some old foil, red foil left over here. I just took designer series paper. I made strips so it was 3 inches wide. So each of these strips is 1 inch. And then the length is 4.5. So 4.5 by 3. Cut them down into strips, spread it out a little bit. Then on the inside was that same pop-up stuff that we did just now recently. I have cut out and layered some of these hearts also to add a little bit more interest. And then this one says, here's to another year of love, laughter, and happily ever after. It's an anniversary card. And another Valentine card that I made, very similar, was some of the designer series paper. This is embossed, but it probably doesn't really show very well. I used some of the, we have some glittered paper right now, or actually, geez, what was this one called? Oh, whenever I'm doing this, it's like on the tip of my tongue, and I have it all. It's like our glittered paper that we have. And then Baker's Twine, Valentine Greetings, and these are just some of those flowers layered with some of our hearts for embellishments, and then some more ideas for pop-ups in the center. This time, this is what one looked like if you put it on the right side of that little center part. So then it kind of goes to this side instead. So I kind of liked them staggered like that. This is the image, the other die that comes in that set that matches this one here, part of the same set, the smaller heart from that. All right, so there's a few there. I did also want to show you, you can make your own little card if you would use a punch, and then what you do is, I'll show you. So take some paper, and you just need to make sure it's big enough so that when you fold it, it'll be bigger than the heart. Bigger than the punch, I should say. So you'll see what I mean here. I'm taking just a random size, and I am folding it in half. And it just has to be long enough for the punch. This is the scalloped punch. You could use the smaller one as well. You just have to make sure that it is the right depth so that we can do this to it. This is the folded edge. The folded edge needs to be kept intact. So I am not going to put it up here, otherwise we would be punching out two separate hearts. I want to make this a little card, so I'm just having this, I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm not going all the way up with the fold. And then you just punch it, and then you make a little card that is that same heart shape. a little bit cut off on the top here, but then you can make a little card out of that. That'll be a nice little thing to go along on any like little, it's just like a gift tag you can make out of it. You can put some kind of a greeting on the inside. You would, if you take the smaller punch and do the same thing in white or a lighter color, then you can also, let's see, I'll use this scrap, and this is the piece that I had today. Let's just make an insert out of that. We're going to do the same thing. It's too deep. I'm just randomly using what I have to show you a quick way here. Just do the same thing with this smaller punch, and don't go all the way. You just don't want it to go all the way, because you don't want to make, you want a little bit of that fold showing. I can get it to cooperate. All right. So here you can see again, just like I was showing before, you just want to leave the top. You don't want that to cut here. That's the fold. Okay, so this cut out, that's pretty in itself. This can go on the inside here as the inner part of your little tag, and then you can adhere this down. Put your little message in there. You could decorate the front, and this could be put onto a little treat or whatever and make a little card out of a punch, which is another fun little thing that you can do. Okay. Any other samples? Yes. We have these little treat boxes, and they are so cute. They are a lot like the treat boxes that you used to get as a child, you know, like with this type of candy in it, is what it reminds me of. And we have those that you can just decorate. So they're already the right size. They come in this suite, and they come like this. They are called sweet little boxes, and there's 10 of them. And you can decorate them, and then you just go ahead and assemble them, and you just fold. They're already perforated and have everything you need, and you just put it together and you have this. Now this one I punched, I actually used that the smaller heart die, and then I put a little piece of window sheeting on the inside, just a little scrap of clear sheeting, and then you can put a treat in there and it'll show through. You could have these candies or whatever you would want in there. This is just a decorated box then, and you could put a little treat in here, like some of these ghirardellis that are left over from Christmas, that if you wrap them up and with paper around them, it looks really cute. And you do that by taking, for example, you could take this 1 3/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece, scrap of paper. Take your ghirardelli and just wrap it around here like so, and then you can tape this down with your tape on the back. And scoot that over whichever direction. Then you can take and decorate this with your whatever heart or whatever decorative thing you have that you want to, that you've cut out. You could have some cute little heart. Well, that's too big. I bet this one's too big also. But you could have a little note on there, whatever. You could put one of those little tags that we made on there. But this is one idea of what you can do then. You could put this inside your box and have a little message on there, have it show through. Just so many options. I think that's sometimes harder for me because I just, I can't stop. But anyways, I think that's most of our ideas. Let's come back here to me saying, I'm apologizing for the mess tonight. It got a little crazy, didn't it? But just because I just have so many ideas and I don't know how to get them all condensed down into an easy, quick tutorial for you. So I hope I've at least inspired you to make some Valentine goodies for people, some cards, with some little pop-ups in there. You can make it your own in your own way, but you can do that pop-up with any kind of card. It doesn't have to be Valentine's, of course, so you can file that away with your techniques. Anyways, so feel free to let me know if you have any questions about all the stuff that we've gone over. If you do place an order, use that host code and we can get you some of those goodies that I was talking about earlier. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And have a great night, great weekend, and take care. Happy Valentine's Day early.